What's going on, guys? My name is Roberto, and today I'll be showing you my Protech TR-5. I got this guy from Blade HQ, and I've had it for roughly about a year and a half now, and this is probably the only knife that spent the most time in my pocket last year in 2020, and I'm just here to go ahead and talk to you guys about it, give you my review, and hopefully I'll be doing a series on multiple knives. I'll try and put out a video a month. I guess my thought process through the whole series is just going to be to pretty much carry a knife on me for about a month and use it for whatever I need, whether it be cutting cardboard boxes or cutting tape or cutting rope or using it for whatever I need to use it. I guess the challenge for me is going to be to just use the knife as it's intended. I've always considered knives as tools. I don't really tend to keep them at home unless they're on the more expensive side, but even at that, I think now that I'm getting more and more into knives, I would like to do more reviews on them, and like I said, just give you guys kind of like a real world review on it. I know I've seen some reviews online, and people don't really, in my opinion, seem to wear them as much. So with that being said, like I said, this is the TR-5 from Protech. This is a automatic, so beautiful knife. I'm going to be reading you guys some specs on it from Blade HQ's website. And I guess just kind of as a disclaimer, I don't really have any relationship with Blade HQ, but they are a pretty good company. That's where I buy most of my knives. I haven't messed around with Knife Center yet. They do have some knives that I do want that Blade HQ doesn't have, but nonetheless, I'm going to be reading you some specs from Blade HQ's website. So overall length is 7.625 inches. Blade length is going to be 3.25 inches. Cutting edge is going to be 2.875 inches. Blade thickness is going to be about 0.13 inches. Blade material is CPM S35 VN steel. You can see it on the blade as well. Blade style is going to be a drop point blade, and I do love the drop point. I think right now, for me personally, my two favorite blade styles are going to be the drop point and the Tonto blades. I guess kind of the first knife that got me into knives to begin with had a Tonto, so I've always kind of had that in the back of my head, just kind of like, you know, first knife that got me into knives was a Tonto. So top two blades that I like are drop point and Tonto. Next, we're going to look into the type of grind it has. It has a flat grind. I don't know if you guys could tell in the video. And the finish on the steel is going to be stonewash. Edge type is going to be plain. Handle length is 4.375 inches. Handle thickness is about 0.48 inches. Handle material is going to be aluminum, and the color on this one is black. Weight on it is going to be 3.5 ounces. This knife is for a right-handed person only. It is not ambidextrous. As you can tell, there are no holes on this side of the handle to switch over the pocket clip. So if you are left-handed and you want to buy this, just make sure you get the right one. I'm not too sure if they make left-handed knives at the moment. I'll have to double check on that for you guys. Pocket clip is going to be a tip up. Now, one thing about me personally is just I don't care whether I carry tip up or tip down. I usually just carry it however the manufacturer sends the knife to me. It's never really been a deal breaker or a big issue for me. I know a lot of people frown upon either or, but me personally, I just don't care. It's a knife. I'm going to use it regardless of whether it's tip up or tip down. If you guys have any comments on that, please leave that down below. I guess let me know if there are any benefits or pros or cons when it comes to carrying tip up or tip down. Knife type is going to be an automatic, as I mentioned. Opener is going to be a push button. I do like this push button. I don't know if you could tell in the video, but it's going to be pretty flush with the body of the knife, which is really nice. Gives you pretty good space here to push down with your finger, which is kind of nice. And that's pretty much it, guys. So those are the specs on the knife from Blade HQ. You are going to notice that it is a little bit dirty in here. I put some knife pivot lube oil in there and kind of got a little dirty, but I didn't bother cleaning this knife. Again, my type of videos and reviews that I'm going to be making on knives are just going to be showing you guys what my knife looks like after I've carried it for a month. Again, I don't want to, I guess, make the knife pretty for videos. It's, it's a tool, it's a knife. I'm going to leave it how it is. If it's dirty, it's dirty. If it's clean, it's clean. But that's my take on that. I like S35VN steel. I have a couple other knives that have the same steel, and I've been carrying them as well. And the edge retention on them is great. I believe I have a Spyderco or two that have some S35VN steel, and I do have the blade sharpening or the knife sharpener from Spyderco. I haven't had to sharpen this guy yet. I can kind of tell that where I've been using it the most, which is probably the tip all the way to the middle point of the knife, is a little bit more dull than the bottom side that doesn't get used as much. Again, I believe that just comes from using it with boxes, tapes. Usually when I cut a box, I kind of use it like this or like this. And I mainly end up using this half of the tip of the blade. Next, we're gonna go with the push button. Like I said, push button is flush with the body, really nice, doesn't get caught up on anything either, which is pretty good feature as well. We're gonna move on to the lock. So Protech has a switch right there to lock your knife so it doesn't deploy in your pocket. Love that safety. The only thing I have to say about this switch is that it's not the best switch in my opinion. I've handled some of the newer Benchmades, and Benchmade's new safety locks are, in my opinion, way better than the Protech ones. I don't have any current Protech models, but this switch over time just has gotten soft, and I've noticed this sometimes kind of just move around whenever I take it out of my pocket. I usually have it in lock. When I take it out of my pocket, this kind of just sometimes opens. It doesn't open the blade itself or the knife itself, but I've noticed it takes it off of lock sometimes. Again, it doesn't happen a lot, but I do wish Protech made a more sturdier safety. And like I said, I think the placement of it is pretty good. The safety on Benchmades now are mostly right in the back of the knife versus the side. But again, that's my only complaint, really. Even the texture on this switch is kind of faded away. It's kind of like a little pyramid switch, if you will, kind of like little steps. But even at that, again, they've kind of faded. This switch seems kind of loose. It's not as assuring as some of the Benchmades that I've handled, or reassuring than the Benchmades that I've handled. So that's my only complaint on that. Next, we're going to talk about the body. The body is aluminum. I do like the black. I like these little fish scales on it, but they're not as aggressive as I'd like them to be. I think these are more for a stylish kind of look versus more of a utility kind of look. It's pretty slick. It's not the best texture when it comes to gripness. I feel like Protech could have done a little bit better making this handle just a little bit more aggressive and easier to, I guess, hold. It's, like I said, it's a little slippery. It's not, looks great, looks really good in pictures as well, but I don't know, in pictures, you kind of assume that these scales are going to be a little bit more grippy, and they're not. They're pretty slippery. I've never had any issues with it, but again, I like aggressive textured handles. For example, the Paramilitary 2 has pretty aggressive handles, and I love it. Those might be a little bit too aggressive. They beat up my pockets pretty good too, but I'd rather have an aggressive texture so I know I can be able to handle this whenever I need to properly. But other than that, I do like the shape of the handle. It has these little grooves here for your fingers, which is pretty nice. I've never had an issue with the fitment there, so that's pretty good. I can choke up on this really well if I need to. And backspacer, pretty nice. I'm not a big fan of lanyards either, so again, it doesn't really bug me. A lanyard hole is a lanyard hole. A lanyard hole is a lanyard hole. Doesn't really matter to me. One thing I've been curious about though with this being here is that I've heard that this can be a glass breaker. I'm not 100% sure on that. I believe I tried breaking a windshield a while ago at my old job. I was trying to break this old windshield that was just removed from a car, and I think I ended up hitting right here and right here. I ended up hitting the windshield in those two spots. And again, this is aluminum, so it's going to get scuffed up a little bit easier than some other materials. But I think when I tried to hit the windshield, I ended up hitting here and here. This never really made contact with the windshield. The pocket clip kind of gets in the way too if you do try to hit a windshield. So again, I don't know if that's a glass breaker or not, but nonetheless, it didn't really work when I used it. And I guess the last thing we're going to talk about is just the clip. I do love this style of clip. It's a deep carry pocket clip. I do like this little hump that I guess curves up. Just makes it really easy to throw it in your pocket really quick. And then you have this dip here as well to secure the knife in your pocket. I have scraped it up a little bit. That's kind of just normal. But other than that, this has probably got to be the hardest hitting automatic I have. I do have a couple of other automatic knives, but when it comes to Protech, it's just, I haven't found a knife company that comes close to the action that these things have. You do really have to hold it in your hand, or else it'll get away from you. So other than that, really great knife. I do like it. I look forward to purchasing more Protechs in the future. That's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment in the video down below. Let me know if you have any questions or any inputs on the videos. Like I said, I'm going to try and carry a knife for a whole month, and then probably the next month after do a review on it. I just made this video really quick to put it out for this month. Like I said, this was the most carried knife I had in my pocket last year. So with that being said, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.